Judaism, the sacred tradition of marriage. Catholic marriage usually entails a man and woman meeting each other whom after for some time of dating decide to enter the sacred commitment of eternal everlasting love through the exchange of rings and a celebration known as a wedding. However, Jewish marriage is slightly different from this, often occurring in an arranged fashion for Orthodox Jews or heavily involving the family for progressive Jews. The distinct differences between the two types of Jewish people will be explored in further detail and compared with the Catholic views to understand how they differ and why. To understand Jewish marriage, we must first take a look at the religion as a whole. Initially, it is important to recognise that being Jewish doesn't directly correlate with the following, the Judaism religion and faith. Over 50% of Jewish people in Israel today identify as secular, meaning that they do not believe in God or follow any of the religious beliefs of the Judaism faith. Despite Judaism being one faith, it branches off into numerous subcategories. The most common of them all, however, are progressive Jews and Orthodox Jews. There are many distinct differences between the two categories, based on their individual approach to the three elements and their extent of worship. Progressive versus Orthodox Jews. Orthodox Jews are the most involved with the Torah, in which they believe comes directly from God and can never be changed. Through this, they have very traditional views on Judaism faith and often opposing on any modern ways of thinking in terms of New Age issues or current events. For example, in Orthodox Jewish synagogues, much like in the older generations, men and women are separated and must not be seen talking together whilst in their place of holy worship. This gender-important trend continues into there only being allowed male rabbis, as they believe that God made it clear that only man can fit this role properly. Extremely contrast from this, however, is the views of the more progressive Jews, who have adopted a more relaxed approach in recent years, which many would link to the devastation of the Holocaust. On the 30th of January 1933 to the 8th of May 1945, the Holocaust devastated the Jewish community. During this time, over 6 million Jewish people were killed, invoking widespread horror still to this day. Due to the previous anti-Semitic hatred horrendously endured, they live in constant fear about their faith and practices. As a result of this, the progressive Jews are more conservative and less public about their sacred beliefs, in fear of what expressing their faith will lead to. In addition to this, their progressive way of thinking accommodates for the modern world today, with less traditional practices. For example, men and women are allowed to sit together whilst in the synagogues, and females are allowed to become rabbis, raising the question of why the Catholic Church doesn't allow females to become priests. Through this, the main differences between Judaism and Christianity will be explored. Despite both Christianity and Judaism religions believing in God and referring to the Old Testament, along with numerous other similarities, their faiths as a whole are extremely different from each other. Jewish people follow 613 commandments in everyday life that they study and worship on a regular basis through the reading of the Torah. This highly differs from the Christian Bible, which, depending on the individual, is only read occasionally and rather than containing rules in which we should live our lives, contains stories of Jesus' time with hidden messages of love and the important lessons of others. Finally, both religions differ through their celebrations of varying religious days. Jewish people celebrate the Sabbath, Hanukkah, and other faith-related events, often involving baking, fasting, or fancy dress. However, Christians have other holy days such as Christmas, Easter, and Lent. An event that they both heavily share, however, is weddings. Jewish people believe in the concept of soulmates, in the idea that there is a partner out there for everybody, known as bashert. Some traditional Orthodox marriages are arranged, whilst others rely more on bashert's theory of finding love in the progressive families. As written in the Torah verse, woman is acquired in 3 ways: through money, a contract, and sexual intercourse. So the promise of money can be displayed through a costly wedding ring delivered by the husband. The contract is presented also by the husband, of pledges of what he promises to do for his wife while they are married. A usual Jewish wedding day begins with both the bride and groom signing the marital contracts, legally binding their relationships and promise to each other. It progresses to a ceremony in which the bride walks down the aisle as a traditional song is played. This is followed by a 30 to 40 minute ceremony which involves drinking of the blessed wine, receiving 7 blessings from close family members and friends, and breaking of the glass, symbolising the never breakable bond between man and woman. There are numerous undoubted differences between Christian and Jewish marriages, along with a few similarities. The weddings are still performed in a place of worship, with the ceremony witnessed by their family and friends, followed by a celebration of food and music. However, the lead up to the wedding, specifically surrounding what facilitates the bond between two people is completely different. Christian tradition rarely, if ever, includes the family choosing their daughter's partner or arranging marriage to occur. However, in Jewish marriage, it is a common occurrence. Finally, in conclusion, through what has been learnt about the Jewish faith, and when taking into consideration their previous history, it can be established that the people of this religion have endured much hatred and hardship. Through the complete unimaginable devastation of the Holocaust, to the still lingering anti-Semitic views of people today, I commend the dedication and passion of these people for their faith. As far as marriage is concerned, many people in the wider public of Australia would disagree with their practices of often arranging marriages to occur. However, in my opinion, why does their personal beliefs affect non-Jewish people? It is a tradition that spans thousands and thousands of years, and as long as it is a consensual practice, I really don't see anything ethically wrong with it. I hope that the same open-minded approach I have taken to this religion can be taken by all. At the end of the day, their personal views do in no way affect my day-to-day life as a Catholic, and I struggle to understand why people still feel such hatred towards this religion. In the words of Pope Francis, who am I to judge?